Hello, Zion. I am so excited for us to introduce Zion Academy. This has been something that we've been really just thrilled about introducing and launching this fall. So, for us, we've seen in scripture that teaching comes from the local church, and we see disciples and we see believers really grow in maturity by knowing the word through the text. And we want to be a place where no longer are we outsourcing our teaching to like the internet, to celebrity pastors, to seminaries, which they're great, not going to shade seminaries at all. But we would love to say that from the center of the church, from the beginning, we are already training and teaching basics of the Christian faith, because if we believe in Jesus, we're going to spend time growing and maturing. So we want to bring the seminary back into the church.
Yeah, when Winnie first brought this idea to me and it was in its infancy, I knew right away that this was spirit-led and that this was going to be something that God would use to transform our church. I cannot wait to see how God grows this and uses it to develop and form our church into deeper discipleship, into loving God and obeying God through his scripture and through his word and through all the different things and ways that we can learn about being Christ followers in today's day and age.
So whether you are a new believer or if you've been walking with God for a really long period of time, the thing is that we are invited into a journey of growth and maturity for under the sun for however long we're alive on this earth. So come join. We have a whole bunch of classes that I'm super excited that we get to launch.
Yeah, we have several different types of courses. So we are modeling it under like a college type of deal, which means we will have semesters, longer one, fall and spring, and shorter ones in winter and in summer. We'll have core classes. These are going to be some of the basics and more traditional types of classes that you'll take, where we'll go over a lot of like maybe an Old Testament survey or a New Testament survey. We'll have labs, which are more collaborative, where you take a lab in college. It's a lot of hands-on. There's more Q&A. You are participating in the class. And we'll have electives, which will be more teaching different types of topics that people are interested in going in, very interactive. And so every semester we're going to aim to have some cores, some labs, and some electives to really be able to see whatever you're interested in, whatever we want to grow in, and whatever leadership senses God is calling us to learn more about as a church, we'll be able to offer that and grow collectively as a church in these things.
Because we're never done learning, I think one thing we're really excited about is that we're never going to stop teaching.
Yes. Zion, we are in the season of welcoming new members to our church. Now, if you're new, if you've come in the last year, you probably haven't heard about this. The last time we were going to do a membership class was March 20-something. I think you can figure out what happened to our last set of membership classes. It was literally going to start the week that we shut down all in-person gatherings for services. So we, almost a year later, since our last membership class, are finally ready to get this going again. And I must say, this is one of the favorite things that I get to do as a pastor, because there's a lot of people that participate. There were a lot of people that came on Sunday, a lot of people that watch our videos, but there are not a lot of people that say, this is my family, this is where I'm going to be a part of and where I'm going to grow. And I love membership because it tells me who are the people that God has given in the care of Zion for us to steward their spiritual walk and their equipping to do the work of the ministry. So if you call Zion your home, I want to invite you to be a part of our membership. It's 6 weeks long. We go over our core values as a church, our mission as a church, what God has called us to do, the history of that. This is not a Doctrine 101 class, so if you've been through that before, don't worry, that's not what this is about. This is learning about who Zion is and what it means on the practical end to be part of our church, to be part of our family. And so I want to welcome you to be a part of it. Make sure you jump on the app and sign up. You'll hear from many different leaders in our church, and you'll be hearing from me about our history, about who we are and what it means to be a member. So I love this time because again, I get to welcome people and say, okay, I know that you're part of the family. You're not a bystander. You're not just attending here and there, but you really want to dive deep with us and grow as a part of Zion NYC.
Hello, Zion. I would love to introduce to you our course, Bible Studies Tools. One of the reasons why we are having a class on this is because there are just so many tools out there for us, whether there are devotionals, commentaries, dictionaries, translations of the Bible. There's so many of them. We can look on YouVersion itself, and we have about thousands upon thousands of devotionals. So with all of these tools available to us, how can we choose and parse out what are the ones that are good and what are the ones that we really can throw away? It takes a little bit of effort to try to make sense of that. And on top of that, when we read scripture, there's a challenge that we have, a challenge of either reading the scriptures where we're reading it like an academic article, where by the time we leave the scriptures, it's kind of like, man, I have more questions than I have answers. I have no idea what I just read. Or we can fall into the other extreme where we are reading the scriptures and they're just stale. We're looking and it's just black and white words and we don't know what we're reading. The thing about tools is that we are using these tools that help us encounter the living Lord, because when we're reading the scriptures, God comes alive each and every time. Let's read the scriptures with these tools in a way where we leave different. We always leave different. So we have a class that is 4 weeks long, taught by 4 different teachers here at Blend. Come on through. This is the class for you.
If you've known me for long enough, you know that one of my passions is entrepreneurship. I have become a serial entrepreneur, which means I've started a lot of businesses / organizations. I never thought I would be, but that's just how God has used me. And I've also developed a passion for helping other people become entrepreneurs. Because if you were like me before I started my first business, then you probably think that starting a business is hard, or that it requires a lot of technical skills, or there's a lot of things that you need to know before you jump in. And all of that is just untrue. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of technical knowledge. And honestly, you can jump in at any point that you decide that you are ready to jump in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a 6-week class on entrepreneurship that is gonna cover the basics of running your own business. This is not going to be about theory. This is going to be about hands-on practical skills. And we want people to come who have already decided that they wanna start a business, have an idea or a skill that they're ready to take action on, or have already taken action on. So we're gonna be focusing on making sure that at the end of this class that your business is started, or if you've already started it, that you have understood how to scale and grow your business from what you've begun. Really excited to teach this. It's something that I don't get to talk about and teach about often. And so I'm inviting all would-be entrepreneurs, hobbyists, freelancers to come learn how to get your business up and running.
Hi, my name is Karma Burgos, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I've been working in the field for the past 13 years. And of all the people I've had the privilege of talking to or treating, there's one commonality amidst every single one of them. Each person has experienced grief and loss. Grief is universal, and yet our experience of it can be so deeply and uniquely personal. And if there's ever been a time when we are collectively grieving as a city and a society, it's now. That's why this fall we're offering a class at Zion on grief and loss. The purpose is really twofold. It's to let people know that you're not alone in your experience of grief and loss. And it's to enable them to create a map of their mourning to help them navigate through in more adaptive and healthy ways. So we're going to take a look at 3 different aspects of grieving. First, taking an introspective look at our own experiences of grief and loss by learning the language of loss through the stages and types of grief, as well as healthy and unhealthy coping mechanisms. Second, we're going to take a retrospective look at grief and loss by looking at grief and loss in the Bible and what role did it play? How does it impact our lives today? Third, we'll take a prospective look at grief and loss and think about how we can hold out hope and walk together forward in healthier and more adaptive ways. So we encourage you to join us if you are interested in exploring your own experiences of grief and loss, or if you're looking to learn how to walk with others through it. Also, it's honestly time that we stop attempting to compartmentalize our emotional and mental health, and we address the growing grief within us so that we can walk together forward, full and free, whole and healed. We hope you'll join us on this journey.